Welcome to Medically Assisted CBD with Charlie Pimarini. Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Medically Assisted CBD. I want to talk about an important topic that a lot of people in the CBD and cannabis industry throw around, and it's called the Entourage Effect. So what does that really mean? I'm sure if you've been in the CBD or cannabis space for any period of time, you've heard this buzzword. Defined entourage effect is the theory that all compounds in cannabis work together, and when taken together, they produce a better effect than when taken alone. So the parts are greater than the sum. So, for example, when you have a product with just CBD isolate, the conformational change or the change when the CBD binds to its receptors in the brain or any other tissue in our body, it's going to create a change. It's going to create an effect. But if you had all the other parts of the plant product, any of terpenes, flavonoids, any of the other cannabinoids, CBD, CBG, CBN, all of them together will work to create a greater change. So I've read online someone described it as, do you want to party with one friend or do you want to party with multiple friends? So it's almost like I explained to my patients that when you take just CBD, it turns the lock or the key into the lock a little bit. But when you have THC, CBD, CBG, some terpenes, all of these things completely turn the key inside of that lock and creates a greater change. Not a difficult topic to wrap your head around, but something that a lot of people don't understand. But what people really do understand is, how do you get this effect from the products that you're taking? So there are three different types of CBD products out there. Full spectrum, broad spectrum, and isolate are the three most common products that people come into encounter with online or any other CBD shops they go into. So let's start at the top. So full spectrum, what does that mean? Full spectrum means that is the most closest to natural product of the hemp or cannabis product that you can get. They take the flower, they crush it down, refine it, and get the oil out and get all the products out. And that's a full spectrum. It has CBD, THC, CBG, CBN, flavonoids, terpenes. All of the beautiful components of that plant are contained in this oil, and it's a full spectrum oil. Then you move down to a broad spectrum. So when we start to refine it, we go from a full spectrum down to a broad spectrum. Broad spectrum means it has most of the cannabinoids in it, but you remove the THC. So CBD, when the bottle says broad spectrum, it should not have any THC in it. That's what the definition between broad and full spectrum is. And I like to remind my patients that full spectrum, think of F as fail. So you would fail a drug test if you took a full spectrum product. If it is a legitimate full spectrum product that should have THC in it. I've read and heard that the FDA is sending out letters to companies that are labeling their products as full spectrum but aren't having any THC in it. And the reverse is true. People that are labeling their product as broad spectrum but having THC in it, they're both lying about the product. I think as our industry becomes cleaned up a little bit more and more, that's going to start going away, but it's still out there. Still have to be, on top of the type of product that you're getting. You really need to make sure you're getting legitimate products. Moving forward, the next type of product that you could get is an isolate, and that is when you remove all of the other cannabinoids and just isolate one molecule. Could be CBD, could be THC, could be CBG, CBN, all these other type of cannabinoids, but it's isolated away from everything else. So what a lot of products are, and a lot of people that make broad spectrums, is they'll take a CBD isolate and mix it with terpenes and flavonoids or hemp oil to create kind of a broad spectrum. This gives you a little bit of a better chance that there's may not be THC in there. But what I tell all of my patients are, if you're worried about a drug test, do not take any CBD product. It doesn't matter if it comes from me or if it comes from anybody else. At high doses, continued high doses, there are published studies that people will show positive on a urine drug screen, because a lot of these urine drug screens are blind and they're looking for any type of cannabinoid molecule, which CBD is. And if you build up enough of it, because it's fat soluble, especially THC, you will fail a drug test. So I always remind patients, even topical products, even if it says it's just a broad spectrum or it's a CBD isolate, there's potential for THC in it. There's a potential for you building up CBD in your body and it converting to THC. There's studies that do show that can happen. So if you're worried about it, please abstain from any CBD products. But the way you achieve the entourage effect is by taking a full or broad spectrum product. Full spectrum obviously is the best, having 0.3% THC, which is the legal federal limit. But some people are comfortable just taking CBD because they are against THC for whatever reason, or they want to take it and still work, and they're okay taking on the potential consequences of maybe having a THC come up in one of their drug screens. But it's very hard to guarantee there's no THC unless you're using the pharmaceutical grade CBD that they actually synthesize from lemon and orange rinds, which I'll be speaking about in another podcast, which is coming out very soon. And that can guarantee no THC because it's made from an orange peel. But a lot of people don't know that oranges do have cannabinoids, and so do lemons. But it's an important topic, the entourage effect, and that's what we're going for when we're giving CBD products and we're using CBD products is the entourage effect. All of the friends come into the party, not just one friend, but if you can only have CBD, that's great. That's better than not having it at all. It's an all natural product, another alternative to mainstream medicine, to pharmaceutical agents. And I'm a big proponent, obviously, of CBD, full spectrum, broad spectrum isolate products. And I think a lot of people are getting great benefit for many different ailments for using any one of these products. Thanks for listening. And if you guys have any other questions, please email me info@restorativecbd.com or head on over to our website, restorativecbd.com. Thanks for listening.